Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about Nintendo Switch, PCSX2, the Steam Deck, and more. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on Android with Skyline, and Skyline's got a couple of brand new updates. If you head to skyline-emu.1 and click on download, at the time of filming here, version 2173 is the latest version. So mainline version 2173 bring about some changes that were introduced in Skyline Edge version 49. It fixes almost every audio issue, and this is thanks to Yuzu for allowing Skyline to borrow some of their code. And the paid testing early access version of Skyline Edge also got a brand new update. Edge version 57 just released. There's an alternate fix here for Animal Crossing, and Crash Team Racing should now work well. So here's Skyline Edge version 57, and this person's got Animal Crossing up and running and arguably looking pretty good. The Skyline team are seemingly on fire lately. We're getting updates almost every single day, so hat tips to the developers here, and I can't wait to see what's next. And speaking about next up we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation on PC with PCSX2. And PCSX2 has been on fire lately as well. They tweeted out today, Monster Rancher fans, if you are waiting for saucer discs to work and tired of getting the same monster, well, your time has come. No longer will you just get pumpkin babies thanks to CDVD changes by refraction. Now those changes are effective as of version 1.7.4278, and they're already on version 1.7.4280. So make sure if you're using PCSX2 it's up to date, because they've made a ton of improvements and they keep on improving. And speaking about improving, next up we're talking about a brand new version of Steam ROM Manager. For those who may not be aware, Steam ROM Manager is a super flexible tool for adding non-Steam games to Steam. For example, if you've got games on GOG or Epic, you can actually add them to Steam. So version 2.3.43 just dropped, and we've got some bug fixes and a couple of brand new additions here. Crowd-in localization and the ability to remove applied controller templates per parser. Steam ROM Manager is free, it's open source, it's available on GitHub, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. And speaking about Steam, next up we're talking about the Steam Deck. And this rumor has been circling around the internet quite a bit today, but if you head to steamdeck.com and take a look at this video here, The Last of Us is showcased in it, which is leading a lot of people to think that The Last of Us will be compatible with the Steam Deck day one. The official release date for The Last of Us Part 1 on Steam is tomorrow, so by the time you're watching this video it might even be released, and I'm kind of curious to see if it's actually compatible and deck verified. And talking about tomorrow, if you're a fan of Zelda, you might be glad to know that tomorrow, March 28th, and possibly today by the time you're watching this video, Nintendo will be showcasing 10 minutes of gameplay from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Magic Kingdom. I'm really curious as well to watch this gameplay and see how the game's actually developing. Next up, we're quickly talking about Xbox emulation with Cemu, and this update is pretty short but pretty sweet. In version 0.7.86, which just released, they added in a brand new clear button in the file picker. And switching over to emulation on Android and Reset Collection and emulation front end, not an emulator in itself, also got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 1.1.26 is the latest update, and this one allows you to use GIF files or GIF files or subscribe to Mr. Sujano files for your game artwork. You can now play MP3 files you added as a playlist. And there are updates here to support the latest versions of Drastic, Dolphin, and the Robert Broglia.emu emulators. Moving on, and we're talking about Soul Reaver 2, just not the PS2 version of this game that you can play in PCSX2. We're talking about the GOG and Steam versions of this game that you can arguably play, but not very well because they're not great ports. Anyways, here Gemini is working on a patch called Soul Fixer, and they just released 26 minutes of gameplay. And the gameplay looks pretty darn good with this Soul Fixer, so I can't wait to see this release. I'll drop a link to the YouTube video in the description below and you can check it out yourself. Moving on, and we're talking about Linux on mobile devices with Ubuntu. And today there was a very interesting announcement regarding Ubuntu Touch OTA 1. There was an update here that is worth talking about. First and foremost, there aren't a lot of devices that are fully supported by Ubuntu Touch OTA-1. But if you've got a Fairphone 4, a Google Pixel 3a, a Volophone 22, Volophone X, or Volophone, then you might be interested in checking out this version of Linux. Some of the major changes include using Ubuntu 22.04 as the base OS. It now supports Android 9 Plus based devices, and they've moved their source code from GitHub to GitLab. I would argue Ubuntu Touch is still highly experimental, but if you've got an older device kicking around and you wanted to have some fun with it, it might be worth checking out Ubuntu Touch. And speaking about source code, next up we're talking about Twitter and source code. Apparently someone over at Twitter may have leaked some Twitter source code over on GitHub. It was up for apparently a number of months before it was taken down, before anyone, including Twitter, noticed. And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, it's been reported that Twitter is looking for the person who leaked the source code. Go figure. And interestingly enough here, they're also looking for the people who may have downloaded it. Good luck at finding out who those people are. As soon as something's on the internet, it's out there forever. And last up here, we're talking about E3, and E3 appears to be in very serious trouble. Video Games Chronicle reports that Ubisoft is no longer attending E3 and will host its own event in June. And Video Games Chronicle then goes on to say that with 3 months to go, no major company has been announced as officially attending, which is awful for the conference. There are still a bunch of indies that are going to be appearing there, and if they wanted to change the name to Indie 3, I'd be absolutely okay with that. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts about E3 in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.